Hi, it's Mike Stiles, and this is This Week in the Metaverse, your weekly newscast that keeps you up to date on everything that isn't real and yet is. Subscribe now and stay up to date on when we're leaving the physical world. It's May 16th. Let's see what happened this week. This week's lesson is something we all probably already knew, but many of us pretended not to know. Getting into crypto as an investment is highly speculative and risky. And that applies to stablecoins, an almost comically ironic named crypto investment that's supposed to be stable because there are funds held in reserve that maintains a one-to-one peg with the dollar. But tell that to investors on the Terra blockchain. $3.5 billion in Bitcoin were supposed to be in a reserve, which would have been great since Terra imploded to the tune of $60 billion. But now, investors are learning, ruh-roh, those reserve bitcoins are gone. And they can't be traced after being moved to two other crypto platforms. This whole breakdown of legitimacy and trust isn't helping the overall nosedive of crypto values right now. And just to get one more giggle out of you, remember that one of the key selling points of crypto was security. Now that many people are losing their shirts, real shirts, not virtual ones, because of their belief and investment in crypto, the celebrities who have been selling crypto on the public are coming into the legal crosshairs. Kim Kardashian and Jake Paul are among those facing legal action over using their enormous influence and credibility to advertise cryptocurrencies. I know you could measure the amount of credibility I give Jake Paul with a Coke spoon, but apparently there are a crazy amount of people who believe he's smarter than they are about investments and finances. Most of these are class action suits saying these celebs used their fame to participate in pump and dump schemes, which is where people like Kim and Jake get investors to buy crypto, which increases the value. Then the guys behind the crypto sell it once the price has been artificially inflated. Other celebrities mentioned include NBA star Paul Pierce, boxer Floyd Mayweather, and musicians Nick Carter, Soulja Boy, and Lil Yachty. But not Michael Bublé. That guy's a prince. If you won't listen to Kim Kardashian or Floyd Mayweather, maybe you'll listen to billionaire Mark Cuban. You know, owner of the Dallas Mavericks and that guy who's on Shark Tank sometimes. He's been watching the crypto space closely for decades and says at minimum it's something that should be taken very seriously, unlike beer prices at Mavs games. He actually made his first fortune in the 90s and is seeing a repeat of that internet boom, only this time with crypto. He calls its current problems a lull and says the internet went through the same thing. What you have now are a bunch of blockchains that are copying what the others are doing, and those will probably fail. He calls it an imitation phase, although I think imitation butter is fine. He says the next thing that will happen is a consolidation phase with a lot of bankruptcies, acquisitions, or mergers. Was it a good idea for countries to adopt Bitcoin as legal tender? Well, it sure seemed that way before the bottom started falling out of Bitcoin. Case in point, our pioneering friends in El Salvador. They adopted Bitcoin as legal tender last year because their president is really into all things blockchain. Now, things aren't going too well, and the collapse is being associated with a huge spike in gang violence in that country. In fact, that violence is why the president couldn't go to the big crypto conference in Miami last month. No word yet on if he's also going to miss out on Comic-Con this year. That violence included the largest single-day murder spike since 1992, a year in which they were having a full-blown civil war. Analysts say the Bitcoin move was quite a gamble. Duh. It was expected to bring lots of positive change for the El Salvadorian people, but that certainly is not happening. There are those trying to say the sudden shift to anarchy has nothing to do with the Bitcoin collapse, but, financial instability and all. It's an image crypto was actually supposed to help fix. Hey, I hear you. Mike, I'm eager to lose myself in the world of the metaverse, but I'm worried I'm going to run at top speed into the wall of my den or knock over my collection of pricey Asian vases. I understand. Things like real arms and legs can really get in the way of turning yourself into a series of zeros and ones. But don't worry, because the Catwalk C2 treadmill is coming. Actually, it's already here, but this is version 2. It's an omnidirectional treadmill that lets you move all around while not actually going anywhere. I've been racing around all my life and I haven't gotten anywhere, but this is a device to help you do that in VR. Walk, run, jump. You can even kneel if you're about to get beheaded by a mech ninja and want to pray. The C2 Plus model even allows you to take that intense action step of sitting down. The Kickstarter for the product launched this past weekend, and you can grab one for $998, $200 more if you want the chair. If the metaverse is good for one thing, it's providing a chance for lovers to have a meaningful relationship without having to go anywhere near each other. Data from Reddit tells us users are eager to meet and date new people there. In fact, there's been a 249% increase in mentions of dating within VR interest groups. Here are the forces driving this beyond just feelings in the groin. 1, it enhances shared interests. In other words, it's not enough to share a love of Star Wars. People want to live together on Tatooine. 2, Reddit's data shows even if, God forbid, the couple get together in real life, they'd still conduct a great portion of their relationship in the metaverse. And 3, the metaverse offers a safer space than reality to explore, quote, different kinds of relationships, with anything goes as the new norm. It's a little harder to do in real life when you're, say, a middle school principal. That's what we've got for you this week. Subscribe to the show, ask friends if they've heard about it yet, and we'll be back next week.